The Conservative Party is in crisis tonight over the decision by its MPs to depose Boris Johnson, a historic Prime Minister who delivered Brexit after being elected in a landslide less than 3 years ago. Today, it was revealed more than 10,000 furious Tory members have already signed the so-called Boris ballot petition, demanding a vote on whether Mr Johnson should remain in his job. And if Tory High Command ignores the growing rebellion, the party risks descending into civil war. Co-organiser of the campaign, David Campbell-Bannerman, a former Tory MEP, told me earlier today, "We have not yet heard back from the party on a Boris ballot, so we are about to launch heavyweight legal action through Lord Cruddas to protect members' interests. We have MPs now coming on board to back the ballot, and we will be following up directly with members and associations shortly. We think a separate yes-no Boris ballot, whether to accept his resignation or not, is fair, democratic and doable. We are seeking to avoid spoiled ballots and high loss of members if a Boris ballot is not held." Now, the Daily Telegraph's Christopher Hope, who has been across this Boris ballot drama from the start, he believes there is a way for it to be implemented within Conservative Party views. Watch.
John Major had no confidence vote in himself and fought stood again. When William Hague came in, they changed the rules. Article 17 means you can't stand if you're an outgoing leader. So you change that. Now, the way that might happen is there's letters going from the association chairman to the National Convention, which is this democratic body which decides the policy in the Tory party. They vote on overhauling Article 17. And that we're told, well, that can never happen. It would be outrageous. But I think what's happened to Boris Johnson is outrageous.
Well,
and they need to change the rules.
This entire mess, which I predicted and warned against for many months on this show, as you know, it now risks overshadowing the increasingly toxic blue-on-blue leadership contest between Boris backstabber Fishy Rishi, who quit as Chancellor to try and force the PM out, and his loyal Foreign Secretary, Liz Truss. And while Sunak has tried to be polite about Boris, we know the truth. We know he registered his Ready for Rishi domain name back in December. And we know that he was doing all he could to destabilise the government at a time of genuine economic crisis.
Some difficult decisions were taken, like when we wanted to lift restrictions from COVID. It was very difficult to get the Chancellor at meetings to commit to any policy at all. Rishi had been planning his campaign to the letter, launched it the day it was ready, and everybody else is kind of like blindsided and thinking, what's going on? We've all been working so hard. How can he have been that campaign ready? Well, the answer is he wasn't working so hard. We all were.
Now, the spectre of Boris overshadows the current campaign, with both candidates doing all they can to praise him, even though only one can do so with any sincerity.
Boris Johnson is one of the most remarkable people I've ever met. And whatever some commentators may say, he has a good heart. Is he flawed? Yes. And so are the rest of us.
Why didn't you resign from Boris Johnson's cabinet when so many colleagues did?
I'm a loyal person. I'm loyal to Boris Johnson. I supported our Prime Minister's aspirations, and I want to deliver the promise of the 2019 manifesto. And what we need to do now is deliver, deliver, deliver.
Of course, for whoever wins the contest, Boris could haunt their leadership too. His former advisor and friend of the show, Tim Montgomery, claimed at the weekend Boris is telling aides that he'll be PM again within a year. And even as the Privileges Committee, led by biased Labour MP Harriet Harman, does all it can to finish the political career of Boris once and for all, he did little to dispel the prospect of a Churchill-style comeback at his final PMQ's appearance last week.
Largely accomplished for now. I want to thank everybody here and hasta la vista, baby. Thank you.
And big news tonight. In a bombshell interview with the Daily Telegraph, Lord Cruddas has revealed sensational details of a private lunch he had with Boris on Friday. So Crowder has told Christopher Hope of Boris Johnson he wants to carry on to finish the job. He wants to fight the next general election as leader of the Conservative Party. He also said that if there was a general election tomorrow and he was leader of the Conservative Party, he would win a general election, and I agreed with him. He has taken inspiration from my campaign. He hopes that there will be a way for him to stay on as Prime Minister, and he believes that the Conservative Party will be making a big mistake if they ignore the wishes of its memberships. And as I have written for a new column for Mail Online today, even though I believe Liz Truss would make an excellent leader, I am convinced Conservative members must be allowed to vote on whether the Prime Minister's ouster was the wrong decision in this so-called Boris ballot. If political parties believe they are at the behest of Westminster insiders and the toxic mainstream broadcast media rather than the people, then our very system of democracy is under threat. The Tories ignore thousands of furious members at their peril.